Hi, a wonderful evening to each and every one of you. You're welcome to our show for today. Sorry. A wonderful evening to each and every one of us present um, in the show this evening. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I'll just want you to let us know where you're joining from. So thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for staying true, and also to all my friends, all my uh, enemies, everyone. Thank you very much for finding time to always join us every Sunday evening for our live show. I'm not taking any of this for granted. So wherever you're joining from, you just let us know where you are joining from this evening. This the CEO of Tim-Osa Media, Timothy Horohan, joining live from the United Kingdom. Thank you very much for finding time to always join us every Sunday evening. We're not taking this for granted. So both the those behind the scene, thank you to everyone that has always joined us every Sunday evening for the show. We've been doing this for quite uh, up to like I think 3 months or so, yeah, and it's been amazing. We've been getting feedback from people, we've been getting testimonies from people about this show. So this evening is another wonderful time that we're going to be sharing together, and we are having another guest from uh, a new environment entirely, coming to tell us her own experience about what it means to speak up, what it means to express yourself as at when due, what it means to open your mouth and say some things. So today we're looking at the area of abuse, child abuse, sex abuse. That is what we are looking at. And we're having a guest this evening live from Cameroon. And she's going to also introduce herself because she's a journalist and also a mind therapist from Cameroon. So we're going to be having a nice time with her this evening. But before I'll bring our guest or our special guest in this evening, I want to hear where you are joining from. So just drop a comment on the comment section. Let us know where you are joining from. Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, I'm already seeing some persons joining this evening. Thank you for joining us. We are not taking this for granted. I remain your host for this evening, Timothy Horohan, the CEO of Tim-Osa Media. And I want to say thank you to graphic designer Joshua Yedele. I want to say thank you to my videographer, the person of Stevie Naroshebe, and also all my crew members, those behind the scene, Papkai, Jabala, and every other persons that are working behind the scene in making sure that this program will always go on as planned. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your contribution. We hope that in no sooner time we'll be going places with this particular media space. So this evening we're having a wonderful guest in the house, and we don't want to keep our special guest waiting. Yes, and we want to bring in our guests now because our time is already running out. So that our guests will come and introduce ourselves and also let us know what abuses mean and how we can actually deal with this menace called child abuse and also sexual abuse. So this evening we're having one of the most Cameroon finest journalists in the house. So yeah, when I mean Cameroon finest journalist, yeah, you should understand what I'm saying. So it is the person of Joy Become. Hi, Joy. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm okay. I'm doing great. And you?
I'm okay. Looking at me, it's obvious I'm looking good, right?
Obviously.
Yes, yes. So and looking at you too is very, very obvious that you are also looking not just good but excellently well. So and mind you, I love your outfits.
Thank you.
So how is Cameroon today? Let's start with that before we go into the theme of the matter
Cameroon,
this evening.
yeah, Cameroon is okay. Cameroon is fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's
And
okay.
and how is the weather there in Cameroon?
The weather is rather cool. It's rather cool weather. There's cold actually.
Cold.
Yeah, cool as in
Okay.
cold. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
here it's a rainy season now, so places are so cold.
Okay. Well, we hope to visit Cameroon anytime soon once our schedule allows it. Okay. So, Miss Joy Become, your viewers they want to meet you. So, can you please introduce yourself so that our viewers will know you this evening?
Okay, okay. I'm called Joy Become. I'm a I'm a student journalist from the University of Boya in the southwest region of Cameroon. Yeah, and mind therapist as well. So today we are going to talk about child abuse and sexual abuse. I would like to break down the terms and start by, oh, shall I just go ahead?
You want to dive inside the river just like that?
Because you said she will introduce herself, and
Yeah,
so
I know that was a mistake on my part, but it's not easy trying to get the whole thing done here in the studio. So, my don't mind
okay.
my technical crew. I think I'll sack some of them after this show. So, thank you for introducing yourself and letting us know that you are though I didn't hear what you said before the journalist, but you are a journalist and. First of all, I would love to know how it's like being a journalist in Cameroon. How is it like generally? We will go into the topic normally, but we at least let's get to chat before we go into the topic. And also, we don't know when next we're going to be talking after this show. So, how is the life of a journalist in Cameroon? How is it like?
Well, it depends on the mindset you have while doing the job. There are some people who go into journalism just because they see others doing it, but there are some people who go into it because they have passion for it. So, and I am one. Yeah, I am someone. I have so much passion for journalism. That is why I so much enjoy. For me, I think doing journalism in Cameroon is a very great thing. Yeah, doing journalism in Cameroon is a really awesome. It's an awesome experience. So
Mm.
that's what I have to say.
Yeah,
Since it
that's wonderful. It's good to know
yeah.
that we have people who still have passion for journalism. If you ask me if I have passion for journalism, I don't know, but we are all doing the work of a journalist. Yeah. So whether I'm a journalist or not, who knows? But today, here am I standing before the camera, facing the very large audience out there. So let's go straight to what we have at hand this evening, Miss Joy Become. Hope I'm right with the pronunciation of the surname.
You're perfectly right. You're perfectly right.
Okay, okay. So let's go straight to what we have on our table this evening. Yes, if I will ask you, Miss Joy, what do you understand by the term abuse?
Okay, as I earlier said, I'll start by breaking the terms down. I'll
Okay,
start with the child. Yeah, because we have to know first who is a child.
okay,
A child could be someone who is under another person.
okay,
It could be yes, it could be someone's son, it could be someone's daughter. But according to the Children's Right Act, according to 2003 Children's Right Act, a child is someone below the age of 18.
is that the Children Right Act in Cameroon or generally in the
No,
whole
no,
world?
no. That's Nigeria, please.
Oh, Nigeria. No, you are from Cameroon and you are quoting the child rights, Children Rights Act in Nigeria. I don't understand that.
Because I know most of our followers also are from Nigeria, right? So
Okay, so you well, it's good to know that our guest this evening is vast in her research. That's good. Whoa, kudos for that. Okay, yes, continue, please.
yeah, that's what I can say about who is a child, and I will go to abuse. What is abuse? Abuse is using something for a wrong purpose.
Okay,
Yeah, using something for the a wrong purpose with a harmful impact. Yeah, with disastrous impact. Let's say, for example, we have abuse of power.
okay,
You've been given power probably as a leader, and at the end of the day, you use it wrongfully, harming
mm,
probably other people around you.
yeah,
You have abuse of trust. Someone can entrust yeah, probably have confidence in you, trust you, but you use the opportunity to probably abuse his or her trust. That's
yeah.
that's abuse. That's using something for a wrong purpose and harming another person. And you have that I mean there are just so many things you can
Okay,
abuse.
Miss Joy, Become, you
Mhm.
while you were actually talking, because that is how we're going to be flowing this evening. I'll be bringing a question from what you're telling me this evening. While you were talking, you actually made mention of trying to define the child. You said the child is somebody that is under some or another person, probably as a parent or
It's
as a
done.
guardian or something. So, in a situation whereby we have somebody that is under 18 and is not staying with anybody, is staying under the bridge, would that person be referred to as a child, please?
A person that is under 18 and
Under
is not staying
18
with
or
anybody.
is not staying with anybody, probably we have children under the bridge, we have people living in the
Yeah.
streets. So, those are other forms of abuses that we're going to be talking about. So, but can you call those people a child? Or do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
call them children?
Definitely. They are
Yeah, because I
children.
was just trying to quote what you said, trying to define a child. You said that is under somebody. So, probably to disabuse the mind of our audience from the fact that even people that are living in the streets out there, whether you're living with your parents, you're living in the
Okay.
streets, whether you are like me, you're a child. So, you can.
Mhm.
Should I go ahead with questions or you want to continue, please?
No, just go ahead with the questions.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Here you have actually dealt with what a child means and what an abuse means. So, what
Yeah.
is child abuse? What do you understand? In your own understanding, in your own words, what do you understand by child abuse? After you have given us definition of a child and also an abuse, yeah, I think we are having some network glitch there from the end of our guest this evening. So we hope to get our guest back as soon as possible. So please, the back room as guys. So please try as much as you can to make sure you get our guest back this evening. So before we bring our guest back, we're actually trying to look at what child abuse means and what it means. What is the meaning of child abuse to you, our audience out there? What do you understand by child abuse? Have you ever been abused? Have you ever, in any way at all, have you ever been faced with any of these challenges or any of this issue called child abuse, or have you been abused sexually? This is the best time to actually speak up this is the best time to comment below and let us know what it means to be abused, and what did you do? How did you speak out, or you were silent? What did you do in making sure that you were able to come out of that web called sexual abuse or child abuse? In my own research, I understand the fact that a lot of persons out there that are passing through one or two abuses, there is this cage that they end up entering, that it is difficult. It is very, very hard for them to actually leave that cage of abuse. Recently, I was surfing through the internet and I saw the case of a father literally abusing the daughter. And I was disheartening, because it would have been like in a kind of, we would have seen it as a normal thing happening in the outside world out there, when we see young boys abusing young girls, which we are seeing it as normal, but naturally it is abnormal. But it would have just called it a normal thing. But in a situation whereby a father can literally abuse the daughter, then I think the case of insanity has come in. We will not be wrong to tell you that probably that father is having some insanity going up in his head. So we have seen cases like that. We have seen cases where the child is probably staying with either of the parents, or staying with probably the father has gone to marry another wife, the mother has gone to marry another husband, a broken home, and you begin to see the other wife, the other husband maltreating that child. So those are cases of abuses around the world, and these are the things that we have come to actually talk about this evening. We have come to deal with this menace. Let's look at the way out. How do people speak up? How do people actually come up to tell the world that this is what I'm passing through? Is the government actually doing anything in making sure that this menace is curtailed? Is the government actually doing anything in making sure that this issue of abuse, this issue of child abuse, sexual abuse, is actually dealt with very well? Well, we depending on where you are and depending on where you are watching from. In the Western world, I'm not sure. As much as I know and I can say, they don't joke with anything called abuse. They don't. Anything called abuse is not taken for granted. But we see back home in Africa, abuses have become a norm. People can easily abuse children. They can easily abuse others, and they go scot-free. Probably because they have the money. Probably because they are well-to-do. Probably because they are the movers and the shakers of the land. Because of that, you can hardly talk to them probably as you like. They feel that they can do anything they wish to do, just because they are the movers and the shaker of that particular environment. As we are still waiting to have our guest back this evening, we'll just be looking at these various things that, well, we have actually talked about a whole lot of things that our guest is hoping to come and deal with extensively this evening, because these are issues that shouldn't be overlooked in our society today. A lot of children are suffering from abuses out there. A lot of children, not just abuses from outsiders. Now, a lot of children are suffering from abuses from parents. A lot of children are suffering from abuses from relatives. A lot of children are suffering from abuses from loved ones. So there are a lot of uncles taking advantage of those children out there. There are a lot of uncles. You as a mother, you probably have a friend, or you have somebody he has come to say hi to you. You're there, and you're asking your female daughter to go close to such person. These are issues that we are going to be looking at this evening. Those are the things that causes these various abuses in our society today. But thank God our guest is back this evening, because Yeah, this is a live program, so don't worry. I will not say anything now until after the program. Yes, I cannot answer you. Eh? Oh, I hope Cameroon network is okay now.
It's okay. It's better now. Very sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine. So I was
Like,
actually trying to establish what we are going to be dealing with this evening. Yes, I
okay.
was about asking before you left the show this, or before the network had before
Interrupted.
the network decided to hold you back. Yes, I think that's the right word. Yes. Have you ever suffered from any form of abuse?
To be sincere with you, um, not really. I haven't I haven't suffered from any form of abuse from adults. Yes, but the only abuse I suffered was from my peers, Yeah.
Okay.
The
So
second, yeah.
yes, I think you should share that to us. We want to actually listen. Yeah, oh, I think that would be very, very important. And a lot of persons will get to learn from it, especially myself. I think I'll get to also learn from that. So can you tell us what actually happened, please?
Yeah, when I was in primary school. I was in class four. Yeah, I think class four, class five. I had these mates. They usually gathered and bullied me, like for just no reason. They were just I don't know if to say they were jealous because of my performances in school, and I really went through a lot in their hands. At times after school, they would like gather around me. And there was this one guy. The guy just hated me. Yes, my classmate, of course. He just hated me
Is it because you were small?
yeah, yes. I was the smallest. So I was the smallest among them, so they knew they could trample on me and I could do nothing about it. So there was this guy amongst them. He really had the audacity. That means at times he reached the extent that he beat me up because our house was all he was our neighbor. So while going back home, he would follow me and make sure he has me beaten up
I
before he
can
goes
I
back
can
to
I
his
can
house.
imagine that.
Like seriously, and then a certain day I decided I told myself that enough is enough. Yes, I cannot act independently, but I said I must let my grandmother, because by then I was staying in the village with my grandmother. So I told myself that I must let my grandmother know of this. So one day I just had to speak up. I just had to tell her that this is this guy, this is what he has been doing to me. And the next time I met him, he came to me, he was greeting me. I was even scared. He came to see me.
Just because
I,
you spoke up, right?
yes, I
Good.
thought he was coming to beat me, but the way he started giving it, I was really, really surprised. So that's actually what I
Yeah,
want to share.
I actually learned from that. But before I can actually talk about what I learned from that, we that are very close to the ground, or some of us that probably we were not favored with height, you know, we tend to suffer from this thing so-called abuse while growing up. I think that was one of the reasons why I learned to be firm with some things I'm doing. For those that actually knew me while growing up, like you can see him that is small, but he does mighty things. When I mean does mighty, it's not that he does mighty things academically. He does mighty things that when you try him, he can deal with you the way you are. And
Yeah.
of recent, one of my secondary school mates was like, Tim, I'm seeing some of your posts. It's like you're not a pastor. It's like for God to work on it means God can work on anybody. What was he trying to say? Because then you don't. I'm like wonder you cannot just trample on. I will allow you go. I will always give you back the way it is. And for those that know me now, you will not. Once you match my leg, I will match your own back. Even till now, I want to do it because so that you know how I felt when you actually did your own. So because you actually spoke up, I think that issue of that abuse became a thing of the past. So that is the
Yes.
reason why we are actually encouraging all our audience out there. There is need for you to always speak up. Don't die in silence. There is need for you to always tell somebody, look for somebody and tell. So yes, here comes the question again this evening, Miss Joy, become how have you? Oh, network is not trying to disgrace us again.
I'm getting you. I'm getting you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So, after you have established the fact that this is where you have suffered your own abuses, how can you picture this so-called child abuse? How is it like in Cameroon? This so-called child abuse, in the rate of it, is it high in Cameroon? Or like, have you done any research about the statistics so far in the rate of children suffering from abuses anywhere around the world? Over to you now, Mr. Bicom.
Okay, I did some research and I discovered that, like, according to a research carried out by the Cameroon Baptist Convention's Health Services,
Okay.
well, it was kind of surprising to me too, because what I discovered was that about 50% of children in Cameroon have, let me say, just undergo child abuse in Cameroon.
Abuse, yeah?
Yeah, about 50%, and they
Is it
highlighted the fact.
50 or 15?
50, please.
That's 50.
Yes, 50.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if they say we pronounce 15 in Nigeria, that's the same people pronounce 15 in Cameroon. I'm just kind of curious, you know.
I said 50, please.
Okay.
Okay, so they highlighted the fact that most of these children, that's most of the 50%,
Yeah.
they are children with inabilities.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it with disabilities?
yeah, sorry, disabilities rather.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this they highlighted that those with disabilities, they suffer this child abuse 3 to 5 times more than those with normal physical
Normal
conditions.
physical. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we see cases, we see serious cases in the society, like just of recent in Cameroon, an incident occurred where a video, yeah, it was actually a video circulating on social media, where you could see a teacher like literally torturing a people. What
Okay.
did he do? He took pepper. He made sure he grinds the pepper, puts in there's this wrapper we usually put a kind of juice for children to be sucking. He put it in that wrapper, and forced the child to drink that pepper.
You mean
And
a teacher could do that to a pupil?
yes, yes, you let me just come. And then not only that, he placed the child's fingers on the school bench, and took a was it a hammer, like a hard object, and be hitting the child's hands. And funny enough, when he was asked why all this, he told the police officers that the mother of the child ordered him to do so. Yeah, that's what he said.
That's terrible.
And investigations revealed that he was right. The mother ordered him to torture the child, and the funny thing is, they made the videos, and that's what was circulating on social media. The man had to be arrested. I'm sure by now he's still in jail for that.
Just like if I actually got it correctly, Mr. Bicom, like the mother of this so-called child ordered the teacher
Yes,
to
yes,
torture his own child.
yes.
What for? Is it because the child was dull or for what? I don't know.
Stubborn. That the child was stubborn.
Yeah, is that actually the best way to go? If I may ask you, Mr. Bicom.
And she was backing herself by saying that probably the child has begun engaging into drugs also, and for her that could be the only way to bring the child back to the right path. But
So here comes the question that is pointing to you now as our guest for this show this evening. Is that actually the
okay,
right way to go?
child abuse is never the solution. Child abuse is never and can never be the solution. Child abuse can never be the only option to bringing back a child on the right path. There are better ways to bring back the child through the right path, but child abuse should not even be an option. It should not be
Okay.
an option.
Yes. Thank you very much for letting us know that because you actually said there are better ways that you can use in bringing a child back from probably stubborn ways or any other thing. So, Kike Oyewale, thank you for joining us this evening. Please, if you have your question, don't hesitate to drop it on a comment section, because our guest this evening, she's fully loaded to answer all your questions. So for all our viewers, thank you for finding time to join us this evening. So, Miss Joy Bicom, you actually talked about some scenarios of child abuse in Cameroon. But before you came back to this program after the network drove you out, I was actually sharing with the audience a scenario where we literally saw, because we're looking at child abuse and sex abuse. So in a situation where we saw a father of a child literally taking advantage of that child, and that is, in fact, when I saw the video, I think I saw it this morning online or yesterday or so, if I'm not mistaken. So a father literally, he took the child to the hotel to take advantage of the child. So in your own thinking as a mind therapist, what do you think? Do you think that is right? And do you think that that child can get healed from that particular dent that has been seen in the life of that child? Not only just because of the camera that has been placed on the child, at the same time, we have what's called guilt. We have what called this constant reminder of these occurrences that have gone that have happened in the life of that child. Do you think such child can forget those occurrences that have happened to her?
It was a female.
Yeah, a lady. Yeah, the father taking advantage of the female daughter. Yeah.
Okay, firstly, you ask if it's right. Obviously it isn't. That's even an abomination. Yeah, that's an abomination, because uh you know, things happen these days. You can't even comprehend like what will cause a father to even have such thoughts in mind. But on the other side, in this our society, people do things because probably they have to fulfill a condition to gain a certain amount of work, like what just happened in here in Cameroon. Some few days ago, a woman who she claimed she met a certain man on Facebook, and the man requested her to kill a human being, sorry, and bring the parts to a certain cemetery, so she could have some cash, and she actually did it. She took her sister-in-law to a hotel, that means hit the sister-in-law with a breaking bottle, killed her. The next day, she brought in a machete, cut her into pieces, and put it in a box. It's why going out of the hotel that she was caught, and then she had to confess. So these are the kind of things, that's the
Terrible
extent
things
to which,
happening.
pardon.
I said terrible things happening around the world.
That you see, that's the extent to which some people can go in search of wealth, just to have wealth and power. It's really horrible. So you can imagine why a man can think of doing such a thing to a daughter, probably because at the end of the day he knows he will have wealth. At the end of the day, so it's really sickening. It's
Yes.
sickening.
Thank you for that answer, Miss Bicom. We have looked at series of cases, and we can go on and on talking about a lot of cases that is happening around the world about child abuse, about sex abuse. So, as a mind therapist, how do you think such child can be healed from that particular dent, or from that particular issue that that child has gone through?
The child in question, she needs to be followed up. She needs will I say yeah, I think there are doctors meant for that, to counsel you, yeah, to teach. She has to be followed. Oh, that's what I can say. She has to be followed up, both medically, psychologically. Even though the videos will be, social media, the way the things they propagate, you can't control it. Once it's
God,
out, it's
the
out.
social media can never forget, even though we humans
Yeah.
will forget.
What? Yeah. once it's out. But I strongly believe there is a way she, if she fully recovers and she's back to her feet, I think it's very possible for those videos to mean, that's not to mean that much, like not to hurt her that much any longer, if she
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
yes, if
yeah.
it's being taken.
Let me draw your attention back, Miss Joy Beacom.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
reason why I say social media does not forget, because we've seen cases when this, are you aware that this same child can grow up tomorrow, probably becoming a successful person in life, and on the very fateful day, one person from nowhere just decide to post that video again, and it looks very recent, and that child decide to stumble on such video. How do you think that child will feel?
That is why I say the
No
child, the
matter, no
child
matter the healing such child has gone through.
how can you say no matter? That is why I say the follow up should be strong enough, in such a way that when the child sees that video, it does not impact, whether it's in 10 years, whether it's, because from what you say, the difference now is probably with time. Let's say if some years have
Yeah.
passed, and then they have forgotten about everything. So she should be followed up in a certain way, that whether she sees that same video in 10 years or 20 years, it should not have that
So, so
negative impact.
are you actually telling me just now that there are therapists that can actually work on a particular person, and such child can see the video online and will not feel as if anything happened?
Yeah, strongly believe so.
Wow,
It
I need one of such therapy, because I have a particular issue I want to hit from.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There's
are
is
you one of them? I can actually, probably after this show, I can slide to your DM so that we get it up from there.
well, I'm still too.
Yeah, oh, you
So when
are.
the time,
Okay, no worries. So that's me getting a new friend tonight.
yeah,
After the show, I think I've gotten one mind therapist that will help me to deal with some. So away from that, you know, I actually feel that, yes, I was about saying something. There's a case of a young man that sometimes 10 years ago, this young man went for a competition. Instead of him to actually prepare for that competition, he was busy going to church for prayers. He was going for a singing competition. And to cut a long story short, he ended up losing that competition and he cried profusely. That was 10 years ago. Sorry, in the Nigeria Got Talent show. And this young man, I was shocked. I remember while growing up then, I saw the video of that young man years ago, how he lost the Nigeria Got Talent show. And I was shocked. About a month ago, somebody brought up that video again, like trying to tell the world, instead of their times for preparation, instead of you to prepare, don't just focus on God, 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 God. Spend time to also prepare as you are focusing on God. And along the line, this boy came up. They were able to locate the boy and they interviewed the boy. So while the interview was going on, I literally see this boy shedding tears. And this is something that happened 10 years ago. And this boy said this interview has reminded him of the pain he passed through 10 years ago. He also, in fact, he told the media people that went to interview him that because of that thing that happened 10 years ago, he had not traveled to his community. So
okay.
all the pains that he passed through then, they were still very, very fresh. So what I'm trying to
Right.
say, a child that has gone through an abuse, a child that has gone through some kind of hurts, if that child happens to just see, we humans, there are way we post things. You can just get a video from some particular place, and the next thing is, man, who is this? Who must have done this? And then they begin to say all sorts of things, and before you know it, it's not become an issue around the world. So
Yeah.
such child is difficult for such child to easily get healed. But if you as a mind therapist, you're telling me that it's easy for such child to be healed, then it's
I didn't
okay.
say it's easy. I didn't say it's easy. Obviously, it won't be easy. But at the end of the day, the aim is that the child should like get back on his or her feet. Obviously,
Okay, I think we're already having some comments here. Thank you, Kike Oyewale. He said, in Nigeria, where some parents are too harsh on their kids, and it's hard for the child to tell the parents things. If a child is being raped and used by someone, and they should want to tell her parents, but she's afraid of doing so, and she told a leader she trusts. What next step should this leader do for this girl? Okay, thank you very much for that question, Mr. Kike Oyewale. Is it Mr. Sorry, I think that should be a lady, Miss Kike Oyewale. Yes. To my therapist, this is a question for you this evening. So, this is a very tricky question. Let me break it down for you because you are not in Nigeria. Get this evening because you are currently in Cameroon and you're from Cameroon. So in Nigeria, there is this mental. I guess it should also be like that in Cameroon. There's this mentality of as a parents, the parents are very harsh on their children. Parents, like, they can literally deal with their children the way they like, but it's not like that in the Western world. It's not like that. You don't touch your child here. You don't do it. No matter how you might be the father, the mother of that child, but that child doesn't belong to you. So in Nigeria, as a country where parents are harsh on children, there is no father son relationship, mother daughter's relationship. There is this, like, Mom, I'm sorry. I just have to bring this in this evening. I guess my mom is watching me this evening. Yeah, while I was growing, while I was growing up, yes, because I was so stubborn, the way my mom literally deal with me was to always draw me with my ears. Like, I can, because I was a little bit short, so she can just place her two hands in my ear, draw me up, leave me, and I will fall to the ground. That was her normal way of dealing with me when I'm already going AY. So she just do that just to make me understand. Her mentality was that your ear is connected to your brain. So whenever I draw that ear, your brain will be correct. So, like, if I'm suffering from abuse outside, I can't tell her. You get it? Just because I feel that the next thing she might not want to help you get the solution, but she might what she would do is just to increase the pain the more. But she's such a loving soul, like she's such a loving person. Yeah, when the other, in fact, that treatment she gave to me actually corrected my head, and that is what made me who I am today. So in such a situation, and a child is now being raped and used by someone, and she has gone to tell another leaders, probably in church or probably in school, anywhere, what should such leader do in helping that child? What should that leader do in making sure that that child is secured? What should that leader do? If it is to be here in the United Kingdom, my first advice is go straight to the police. But
yeah.
in Nigeria, in Africa, what should such child do? Over to you now, Miss Joy Become.
Okay, it will depend on the nature of the parents.
Okay.
If you as the leader,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see that
sorry, sorry. There is not the nature of the parents is the parents are harsh. That's their
I
nature.
mean towards you, the leader, would they
Okay,
be
okay.
receptive or aggressive? Yes. You first of all attempt to go and talk with them and get the even though they have no reason for being harsh on the child. But it will be proper that you go and meet the parents and hear what they have to say about about the complaint. Hear what they have to say about the whole situation. And if at the end of the day you realize that the parents are actually intentionally neglecting the girl in question, I think you should file a complaint against against the parents, because that's where they see the CRA, the Children's Rights Act,
Art,
come
yeah.
in. Yes, because the act is there to protect children. Yeah, they asked it. So
Is
I think they look.
sorry, Miss Joy. The question is, the Children Rights Act, is it functional? Because I have some questions written down here. What, government, are they
Unfortunately,
contributing in making sure that the children are actually protected back home in Africa?
unfortunately, from my research, I realized that out of the 36 states in Nigeria, 28, just 28 states are actually practicing the act. Yeah, that's what I realized. And if you go with it towards the law, and you see that it's like they are not doing anything about the child's case, I think it will be safer that you take take the child out of the hands of these parents for the safety of the child. Yeah.
Mm,
And yeah, and probably if the parents later happen to realize that that you are in possession of that child, and let's say they take you to court, obviously I think if you reveal everything, because obviously the evidences will be there, the evidences of rape and everything, that extent they'll have to take it very serious. Yeah, at that extent they'll have to hold the parents. Even if you actually kidnapped the child in question, they won't blame you for that, because the parents refused to act. The parents refused to take their responsibilities the guide the, yes, let me say, the guidance of that particular child.
yes.
Yes, so for the safety of the child, if if it's possible, you look for a means to take the child out of, because we are talking about child abuse here. Children, they don't need to be abused. They don't need to undergo such maltreatment. It's not normal. Yeah, it's not normal. So if there's a way for you to take that girl from the hands of the parents who probably see no value, who probably see no reason to take care of the child, who probably see no reason because being harsh obviously shows that, even though there are some that will say they are correcting the child, but harsh to the extent that your child will be raped and you're unable to talk to your parents, that means that the harshness was really exaggerated, and they have failed when it comes to taking care of their child. That means they have failed, and it's not in the future that they will do better. Yeah, it's not tomorrow that they'll do better. So I'll personally advise that, particularly that, to find a means of taking the girl in question out of that, at least for the meantime, so she could probably take her to a place where she can recover and come back to her sense. I mean, to
Okay,
herself.
thank you very much, our speaker this evening, for that answer that you gave. I will have to come in here to just see how I can also help in such situation. The truth is, if I'm going to start, I'll start from our parents. Parents in Africa, yes, it's good to train your child. It's good to try disciplining your child. It's very nice. But the truth is, most of our parents, they are failed. The welfare of their children is no longer their concern. When I started this program this evening, I actually talked about, we've seen situation whereby a broken home, a father going to marry another wife, and the other wife maltreating the children. Literally, we have seen situation whereby a mother leaving the father, the mother, sorry, a mother going to marry another husband, and they are maltreating the children. Literally, these are things that are happening around the world, and which ought not to actually be. In this kind of situation, Miss or Mrs. Kike Oyewale, I would advise, as a leader, you think about the pros and the cons. You think about the advantages and disadvantages of what you wanted or what you want to do. First of all, the security of that child matters a lot. The security of that child matters a lot. If you're to be here in the United Kingdom, I would have advised you go straight to the police, go and report such situation. But if you decide to do that in Nigeria, the parents can file up a case against you. The parents can just literally say, why will you go and report such case to the police when you haven't informed the parents yet? which will in turn become a big problem later on to you as an individual. So what I would advise is you go to the parents, depending on whom they are. If they are people that listens, good and fine. But if they are not, look for a closer person to them, somebody that they listen to, somebody that is above them in any way. Look for such person, communicate, tell the person this is what is actually happening, and you don't know how to actually relate this issue to. It can be a, because there's this syndrome in Africa of people literally calling their pastor daddy. So people respect pastors more than any other person outside. So you can bring the case before the pastor. If he's a responsible one at that, in quote, sorry to pastors out there, I'm not saying pastors are not irresponsible. I'm not. Some of them they are not responsible, but that's the truth. The truth is, you look for responsible one. Talk to the person. Let the person know this is the situation at hand. The person is actually responsible. The person knows how to inform their parents. This is the situation that child is passing through, and the best way to go in making sure that menace is being curtailed. A lot of children are suffering out there from child abuse. A lot of children are just there. They don't know how to speak out. So here am I this evening appealing with every child that will come across this video. Speak out. It's very important you speak out. Dying in silence is not an option. Learn to always speak out. So the reason why I had to come in here again this evening is the fact that you are not, I don't know the way you put deal with it in Cameroon. Your police force might be very, very much a thief. They might be very, very active, but back home where I came from, they are hyperactive in quotes. I think I rest my case there. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that question, Miss Mrs. Kiki Oyewale. Back to you again this evening, our guest, Miss Joy Become. Now, we want to look at it from other angles. I thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Which actually means she has been helped with situation like that's the essence of a
Yeah.
program like this. Yes,
Thank you,
we
Tite.
want
Thank
to.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to look at it from other angles. We have seen cases where it's difficult for children to speak up, probably because they're underage. It's difficult for them to actually speak up. So, a child that is suffering from any of these abuses, how do you think they can speak up? We'll look at how they will heal later as we are going, as we are trying to go along the program. We'll look at how they will heal later, but how do they speak up?
Oh, okay. I think the easiest way to answer that is look for someone you're familiar with. If
And in a
because
situation whereby someone you are familiar with is the person taking advantage of you, what will you do?
like you're aware that is a person taking advantage of you.
Yes, I just talked about a situation whereby the father of the child was literally taking advantage of that little girl. Though,
Mhm.
yeah, I can't say that little. That girl should be more than 20, 25. Yeah, that might be a consensus decision. Who knows? In a situation whereby that you person you are familiar with is a person actually taking is the one that is taking abusing you, what will you do? Please, to our viewers out there, before you answer the question, please and please and please, if you haven't shared this page, do well to help us share, like, comment. Please, that means a lot for us. Share it to your friend. Let other persons also see what we are doing here so that they can also share their own view about what it means to speak up. Yes, over to you now, Miss Joy. Become. How do people
Yeah.
speak up?
Yeah, because when you say a child might not be able to speak up, we have to look the reasons why a child should not be able to speak up. Because as I mentioned earlier, it could be because of the probably the nature of the people with whom she is. Just like our sister just asked now, that if your parents are harsh towards you, how do you speak? Because that's why I said you look for other persons. You already know the person causing you the pain. You already know your abuser. You already know the person inflicting the torture on you. But then you have to look for, and even if it is a neighbor whosoever it is, you must not say to one person, except maybe they have locked you inside a room. That will make things very difficult. But uh if you don't have someone that you really feel as to open to, I will plead with you as a child that's undergoing a child abuse. Don't keep it to yourself, because probably you have not seen someone that you can open up to. You really have to speak up. It can be your neighbor, probably your teacher in school. The essence is that you have to speak up. Yes. If you don't find someone that if you feel free with, probably someone you're familiar with, you must speak up. Yeah, so that's what I have to say.
Okay, yes, you have to speak up. Via which channel, please? How, like, are they going to, are they going to the media to go and speak up? Are they going to the police to go and speak up? You said they should look for
That is
somebody
why,
that they are familiar with.
yes, if you got me well, I said, even if you don't have someone you're familiar with,
Yeah,
anyone around you, it could be a neighbor, it could be your teacher in school. Those elderly persons will surely help you if the case has to be taken to the police station or wheresoever it has to be taken. Those Meet an adult, meet someone that's responsible. Just like already from the question that our sister asked, the girl ran to a let's say the girl ran to a leader because she knows that the leader will be responsible enough to handle. Yes, let's say
the
the boy
situation.
might be responsible enough to handle such a case.
Thank you
So
for using
you
the word might be.
pardon?
I said, thank you for using the word might be.
Yes, it might be, because don't be surprised that that leader in question will might end up abusing you too. It's still very possible
Thank
that
you. We are
that person
that is the next place I'm going to. We have seen a situation whereby children go to their leader in church. Yeah, I've seen that also in church, and they tell their leader, this so and so person is abusing me, and the leader end up abusing such person also. So, how do you think such a person can heal from that particular abusive uh, series of abusive issues happening to her? How do you think, because
I
most
think
of
it
these abuses happens to female children, so how do they heal from such abuses?
yeah, I think it's the same process, just that the gravity of the pain committed here probably will be higher, but it's the same process. You will need medical checkup and psychological follow up. Obviously, you need it to probably get back to your feet. But in some cases they don't even come out alive. Yeah,
Mm.
but if you're lucky enough to survive probably such series of abuses,
Abuses.
yes, yes, it will be advisable that you obtain a immediate medical attention. Yeah, medical attention. Then on the long run, you they make sure they follow you up psychologically. It's the same process, just that this time around the gravity of the abuse will be higher.
The gravity of the abuse will be higher. Yes, now to our leaders out there, if you are trusted enough to be told about any form of abuses and you decide to take advantage of such situation, not just nature will hold you responsible, but everything around you will hold you responsible, because that is the life of a person that is being placed in your hands, and you are not using that life very well. You are not protecting what has been given to you. A lot of us don't know the usefulness of information like this. There are some persons naturally you can just, we have people like that. Yeah, I think I'm one of such person. While growing up, people literally want to tell me their problem, not because I ask, but because they would end up telling me, I don't know why I'm telling you, but something just attracted me to tell you. There are some persons that literally people just want to tell you their problem because they feel that you have the solution, even though you have solution or not, but they just want to tell you their problem. So if you are found in such situation, never take advantage of such person. because everything will work against you if you decide to do that. If you
And there's
decide to do that. Yeah, go on, please.
there's something I wish to add. As a leader, it's not only by inflicting more harm on that child that you will abuse that child. That means if you happen to neglect or ignore or snub the child's complaint, that is still another form of abuse.
Thank
Generally,
you.
generally there are five types of abuse. Yes, there is physical abuse, there's emotional abuse,
Mm.
there's physical neglect, there's emotional neglect, and there's sexual abuse. So if that, I think that would fall on the under emotional neglect. The child really needed someone to attend to, and like the child needed someone to attend to her, and she ran towards you, and you neglected her. Probably it comes to think of it, probably you were the only person
She
she
could
could
run
run
to,
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she knew you were the only one who could really handle
Who
the
could
case,
help,
and
yeah.
and then you neglect. That's abuse. That's child abuse.
I think
That's
I'm
what I
just
wanted
getting
to
to
say.
learn that for the very first time.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
child abuse.
much for that, Miss Joy Become. So, can you please throw more light on those various type of abuse? Because I think our audience will want to learn more about that because we have just 30 minutes to go or to wrap up this program this evening.
Okay. I'll start with physical abuse. As we all know, it has to do with the abuse of one's physique. It has to do with torture. It has to do with inflicting pains. Yeah, inflicting pains on the child's body. That's what physical abuse is all about. Then emotional abuse. It has to do with uh, causing some kind of emotional damage, psychological damage in the child. Just like you will notice that apart from the, let me take the instead of that girl that
Sorry,
was raped. And
guest this evening. Please, our viewers out there, if you have any question as regard abuse, any form of abuse, or if you are passing through any form of abuse, you don't know how to speak up, this can be the best platform for you to speak up. And I assure you, we are going to follow up the case till we have correspondence everywhere that will help you to follow up the case in making sure that this issue is being dealt with. Or if you don't want to put it on the comment section, you can message me privately for any form of abuse, and I assure you we are going to deal with that form of abuses. Yes, you can go ahead, please.
yeah, so I was at the level of emotional abuse. I said it's damaging the child's mind psychologically. So I'll take the case of the girl that was raped, and probably due to the harshness of the parents could not own up to them. Now come to think of it, what forced the child to go out to a leader? Because already in her psychology she is disturbed. She cannot feel free with her parents. She had the relationship with her parents. That's the way they treat the child has damaged her emotions. She has no peace while relating with the parents. She has no she does not feel secure. Yeah, she does not feel secure while relating with the parents. That's why she is forced to probably look for another place where she should feel okay, where she, while expressing her mind, she'll feel emotional okay. That's where the emotional emotional abuse comes in. When you're harsh, when you don't give that children that when you don't give your child that love, when you don't give your child that comfort, when you don't give your child that assurance, when you're unable to give your child that security, that's when emotional abuse comes in. Now you have a physical neglect. you let's say you have a child, you don't care about the child's feeding, you don't care about the child's well-being, you don't care about the child's sanity, you don't care about the child's hygiene. That physical neglect, that means the child's physical does not matter to you. Then I saw a picture circulating online, and this child that was staying with her aunt, the child was all skeleton, no meat on the body. Like, who does that? You're living with a human being, a child under your roof, and the child is really get turning into a skeleton, and it's not nothing rings in your mind that you have to, I don't know, kind of repent, or it's really It's really bad. So that's the physical neglect. You neglect the feeding of the child, you neglect the hygiene of the child, you don't follow up the child, eat eat in the, take your breakfast, take your food, eat every day. You don't follow up the child to probably bathe, you don't bathe the child, you leave the child bushy, you leave the child unkempt. So that's what physical neglect is it's all about. And then I'll go to emotional neglect. Yeah, emotional neglect, it's almost the same as emotional abuse. Yes, you don't care about what your child feels. Probably when your child runs to you, mommy this, you, the way you react, you're like, get out of here, don't tell me anything. Or probably when the child has a worry and the child comes to you and wants to talk to you, you're like, I'm very busy, I'll get to you later, or I don't have time for you now, or you like this. So imagine if the child actually had a worry and was running towards you, probably for you to solve it, and you are like, I don't have time for you, I have more important things to do. Obviously the child will be damaged, and that's a emotional neglect. And the last one obviously is sexual abuse. That's abusing the child sexually, taking advantage of the fact that the child is a minor, and that probably you have power to probably satisfy yourself and last achieve your desires, or from that powerless and innocent human being. So those are the generally the five types of abuse I have come across. Are you there?
That's wonderful. That's in fact, I'm speechless this evening. Thank you very much for that exposition, Miss Joy Bicom, our guest from Cameroon this evening. So you have actually dealt with the different types of abuses. Yes. You know, as this particular show is just going on, a lot of things they are running through my mind because I know a lot of children they are suffering. They are suffering. They don't have anybody to actually speak to. So I think I should actually work on this area. Probably I can be that person that they should be speaking to because parents, as I've said before now, they have failed. Some parents have failed. Some leaders, they have failed. Even some so-called pastors, they have failed. They have failed in their various areas in making sure that the life of the children that have been placed in their hands is safe. Most of them, they are busy looking for probably money. They are busy looking for one thing or the other. In doing that, they have forgotten their primary role of taking care of their children. So, how do you think the government have contributed in making sure that this issue of abuses is being curtailed?
Okay.
You can speak from any point. You can speak from the Western world. You can speak from the government in Cameroon. But if you can't, you can talk about government in Nigeria. Don't worry, nothing will happen to you. So, how do you think they have actually curtailed this issue of child abuse anywhere around the world? The government, how have they contributed to it?
Yeah, I'm not, well, I don't know. That means I'm not too certain, but I believe there are that's ministries in charge of that. Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah, we have
like in our
ministries.
country.
We have ministries in charge of that. How
Mhm.
the people
That
in charge of that ministries, how are they
that's
contributing
I've
to the
come.
fact that children are taken care of? How are they doing it so that children should be well taken care of, so that they will not suffer from some of these abuses?
Yeah, I think they organize awareness seminars. Yeah, I think they these ministries, they do organize awareness seminars uh where they
Do they
educate.
organize that in Cameroon?
Yeah, they do.
But in Nigeria, obviously, no, they don't. So automatically, the government, they are not even helping matters in making sure that this issue of abuse is being dealt with. I'm saying that with my full chest. So the government, they are
Okay.
not helping matters. So in your own way, how do you think the government should assist in making sure that this issue of abuse is being curtailed?
Okay. I think they should, as I earlier said, organizing seminars is very, very good.
It
But
is
I think
key.
they pardon.
Continue, please continue.
I think they should like put a certain platform where children who are undergoing any form of abuse can openly run to and express lay down their complaints. I don't know. I don't know. It could be a form of it could even be a building probably all over the town where a child can, that means probably during their seminars, during their campaigns, they let the children know that there's this place. If you're facing any difficulty, if you're undergoing any abuse, run to this place. Our hands, that means the place is there just to welcome these children, not like they'll have other things to do when a child will come. They'll be sorting out those things. They will probably put the child keep the child waiting, or not attend to the child. That particular place should be just for such cases
And they, they,
where
they, they,
children.
they should prioritize the cases of such children. That would
Yes, they
have
should.
been a very nice option. It would have been a very nice thing to actually look at. But the fact is, how is it possible to build places in every community? Mind you, it will be difficult for it. Can you hear me?
if you if they want to, they will. You start from somewhere. If the government wants to, nothing will stop them. They will.
Yes, I
Even in
know.
every village, they
I
will.
understand the fact that they will, but it's difficult for a child to probably get into a vehicle, going to another community just because they want to report cases. I can't imagine Nigeria government
No.
building a place for them to talk, or a kind of a center for children to express themselves in every villages, in every communities, which
Well,
looks
that
very
you
much.
ask for my suggestion and I get my suggestion right.
Okay, continue.
According to
Continue
me,
giving your
it
suggestion.
could be done that
Maybe
way.
the
I think
suggestion you
it
are
would.
giving is for Cameroon government, not Nigeria government. Continue.
Obviously, I'm not in Nigeria, so obviously.
Yeah, continue. Continue with your suggestion, please.
Yeah, I think I've said it all. You even said this clearly. They could establish centers where children could freely go to, and that means centers just for that, where children can freely express their mind, and they will make sure that they follow up the complaints of those children.
And you think people that will be put there, they will not take bribe?
Take bribe how?
To,
Take
yes, to
bribe from the
prioritize
children.
cases.
Normally, in every there must be corrupt person, corrupt workers everywhere now. There's no place where you find workers 100% good, but at least if you try, it will help matters. In the whole world, that means in a whole organization, not all the workers must be
100%
that's
okay.
moral. Yes, there must be people who are there just to for their personal gain, people who are there just to worsen matters. So it's a normal thing.
It's not normal. It's
It's
abnormal.
it's
Yeah,
a,
in a situation where
morally
we are
it's not
making
right, but
abnormality normal, then I think there's a problem somewhere. Abnormality should not
yeah,
be made normal. It's not normal.
it's morally not normal, but it happens.
Yeah, you can say that it's morally not normal, but it happens. Yeah, that's true. So we are almost running out of time, and I want to leave our guest to go and sleep this evening, because probably she has to go to work tomorrow. You can see her eyes are already closing gradually. So, so I know I'm actually stressed this evening in our show. So, can you just briefly summarize everything that we have done here this evening for our audience before you give your final word, so that I can allow you to go, please?
Okay, as you all know, the main thing is for you to speak up. Whatsoever, don't be a stoic. Don't suffer in silence. No matter what you're going through, you need to speak up. Is it a neighbor? Is it a teacher? Run to the person, explain things to the person. Don't die in silence. And unfortunately, we haven't even, well, probably another day, but there are even some children in the streets. They don't have parents, they don't have neighbors, they they they, they, they don't have like uncles, aunties, that they're just on their own.
Mm.
But even in that case, I think it would be good to even talk to passerbys. Yes, passerby, you just need to open up. You don't know where your help will come from. You just need to up the essential. It's better to open up, and then the person does not react, than to die in silence.
Okay, you actually talk about opening up. People differs. The way I've been built up. If I'm offended, I love telling somebody about it. Like if you offend me, I might not tell you directly, yeah, but I should be able to tell a related person about it. So that it's just for me to have this clear mind that okay, this thing is fine, it's okay. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the way it is. So to all our viewers out there, we have actually spent time this evening to discuss don't die in silence. That is the theme of our discussion this evening. That is the heart of our discussion this evening. Learn to speak up. Look for somebody and talk to. It is very, very important. It is paramount. It is 101% important. Do not die in silence, viewers. Don't. Talk to somebody about it. Look for your neighbor. Look for an uncle. Look for a teacher. Look for a pastor. Talk to them about it. It's very, very important. Don't die in silence. If you are passing through any challenge, you are passing through any form of abuses, don't die in silence. Parents, let's teach our children not to die in silence. Let's not be too harsh on them so that when they are passing through any challenge, they will be confident enough to still speak to you. Learn to always speak up. From our guest this evening, right from a city in uh, Cameroon, I think the network of our guest is already uh, 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 having issues again, but thank God she have actually dealt with this issue of child abuse. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate the sacrifices you have made in joining us this evening. So we hope to see you again, same time, same social media handle next week with a rebranded topic. I tell you, next week, if you are a lady in the house, if you are a guy in the house, you're not yet married, next week you need to join this show because we are looking at another aspect of our life that is very critical. What somebody will be coming to actually deal with the case of. Let me not share it. Our guest this evening, are you there? Miss Joy Bicom, are you there? Okay, I think her network is still okay. Yeah, I think. Let me see if she is with us this evening. Okay, are you still there with us?
Okay.
Okay, I've been shouting our guest. Are you there? Are you there? And you didn't say anything. Okay, can you just give our viewers the last word before you go this evening?
Well,
A final word.
okay, it's
And
been
don't
a great
forget to tell
pleasure.
them to subscribe to this channel.
Sure. It was a great pleasure sharing with you all. I am personally very grateful for your presence, and don't forget to follow Sir Tim-Osa Media on YouTube, on
And I
Instagram.
discovered that it was this evening you followed my page on Facebook.
Pardon?
You followed this page this evening. So and I'm going to find you for that.
I don't know. I thought I had followed the page on Instagram, and I myself shocked to realize I had not followed. I was not following the page before.
Have you followed on YouTube?
Yes, I've subscribed.
When was that?
um, about 2 months ago.
Okay. So continue, please.
Yeah. So please don't hesitate to subscribe on the YouTube channel, on Facebook page, Instagram. I think that's all right.
Yes. And I'm also giving you
Okay.
one task. Yes,
Okay.
automatically you have become our ambassador in Cameroon. So Tim-Osa
Wow.
Media is now welcoming a new ambassador in Cameroon. So you are going, yes, that deserves a clap. Yes, yes. You are going to help us publicize this social media handle in Cameroon. So tell others about it, okay? And
Okay.
I want to start getting subscribers from Cameroon, and we want to start penetrating that part of the world, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much for finding time, despite your busy schedule as a journalist and as a mind therapist. You were able to find that time to join us, though you did not appreciate me for inviting you, but I'm appreciating you for joining me. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. May the peace
Thank
of the Lord
you.
be with you. So
Thank
I
you.
think after now we are going to meet off camera to finish our discussion. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And see you again, same time, same social media handle next week with a rebranded topic. But for now, have a good night rest and have a blessed week ahead. See you again next week. Bye bye.